Welcome to another podcast of the current situation at Manchester United. I'm not sure if you can hear, but you can tell that rain is tearing outside. It's tearing the sheets outside. But the show must go on. I want this podcast is going to be my Manchester United review of the season, at least in the Premier League. So I'm not going to give my spin off on the Euro League, the FA Cup, not because I'm bitter because United got knocked out of the FA Cup, but I just want to solely and specifically uh, just zoom in and scope in on the Premier League as it relates to Manchester United this season. Well, last season since the season is finished. But I want to give my disingenuous disclaimer that this video shouldn't be a long one. But if you're watching, I appreciate every single one of you guys that are watching as I speak. Yeah, so let's just get straight into it. Manchester United. Now, if you were to tell me that Manchester United was going to get third place after this season, get FA Cup semi-finals, still in the Euro League, looking to win the Euro League, and but you got third place in the Premier League, I wouldn't say I would bite off your hand, but I would be very skeptical. So I would say to you, if United got third place, who got first place? I say, gee, I guess it's tied between Liverpool and Manchester City. Oh, Man City is going to run away with the league again. We all know that Man City is going to win the league. Well, since COVID-19 became a thing in 2020, things have been abnormal this year. Liverpool have won the title. Boy, I ain't go talk about them. Let's just excuse them. Let's just get that off the table. So, Manchester United signed Harry Maguire. Shit, I don't like the light. I mean, makes him look like an angel, which is appreciated, much appreciated, but I'm anything but an angel. But the lighting is so, oh, yeah, the rain is tearing outside. But Manchester United signed Harry Maguire and they signed, who else they signed? Couldn't be Harry Maguire alone. Um, at least in the summer, I'm talking about in the summer. So, yes, Harry Maguire and Daniel James. Yeah, Harry Maguire and Daniel James. Manchester United signed Harry Maguire and Daniel James in the summer of 2019, which would lead up to the season of 2019-2020. And the first match in the Premier League was against Chelsea. Now, Chelsea at the time was known to be. Now, Chelsea just appointed Frank Lampard after having a decent spell at Derby County. They say, he has decent credentials. Let's just bring him to Chelsea. And yeah, so Chelsea and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just going at it again. Well, for the first time as managers, they were clashing horns for the first time as managers. But whenever they were playing, when it was Chelsea against Man United, yeah, man, it was one of those tug and war games. But Manchester United hosted Chelsea at Old Trafford. And without getting into it, because I don't want this podcast to be a long podcast, Chelsea, well, everybody knew that Chelsea was destined to be United's bitch after that season, but the snowball started rolling in that game, and Chelsea was smacked. Was I would say fucked, but they were smacked 4-0 at home. 4-0 FC's back, so we thought. But and among the goal scorers was Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford again, and no other player than Daniel James to score his debut goal for Manchester United. I can tell that it really meant a lot to that young lad. I mean, Paul Pogba was just being Paul Pogba, just springing passes, spraying passes, displaying passes. You know what I'm saying? He was he was just colossal in the midfield. Yeah, he got two assists, one long ball to Rashford, and I think one to Martial, I believe. I'm not sure. But yeah, that game was a very Now here's the thing: Chelsea had their chances in that game, and I thought person were saying, "Oh, United got lucky," and that's the reason why we won the game. They cannot be lucky when they score 4 goals in a game, bro. No, if no, hold on. No, one of the goals was a penalty, and I mean, you guys fouled us. So I mean, where you want us to score the goal from the corner line? But I think something is in my nose or so. Anyway, so the next match I believe was against Southampton away from home. Um, quite a testy match. We were tested beyond the waters, and United. Again, I'm not going to go into every game detail because I'm no electronic analysis. I'm just a human being with a limited memory, so I'm just going to give my intake on the games United play based on what I remember. But Daniel James was looking into his own. He was going into his own zone. Like he was really dialed in the first month. And Manchester United, I believe Manchester United won against Southampton away from home. That goal from Daniel James. One could say that if Arjen Robben had a right foot and he played on the left wing and he cut in on the left wing and just whipped that goal in the top bins like it was whipped cream, putting it on a ice cream cone. Man, that goal was just very good by Daniel James. That was the only goal in the game. I don't want to check right now because I don't want to keep you all waiting. But Daniel James in that month. Now, I believe again, I'm not going to get in any every game. I'm just going to give my spin off on the Caesar United. But Ole was still under fire because despite getting results, Ole was still under fire. Like people didn't believe Ole was the man to carry on the mantle, to carry on the baton given by Jose Mourinho to manage Manchester United. They thought it was above his IQ level. They thought he was just out of his depths. But yeah, so he was getting fired by rival fans and so forth and so forth. But what you guys need to understand, oh, what you guys need to understand is that Daniel James in the first month, because he was playing left wing in the game against Southampton, Daniel James is not one of those players where he's just a player that's based on technical ability. Daniel James is one of those 100-meter runners, sprinters, I should say, that happens to play football. And that's just what he is. I'm not saying he's not a professional football because he is a professional football, but doesn't mean he's a profession at the football game. So again, I'm not knocking Daniel James because he is who he is, and I mean, hey, that Gareth Bale made a career out of running with the ball, so I ain't going to knock Daniel James that much, and even Theo Walcott. But Manchester United, Manchester United against Crystal Palace at home was one of those nails in the coffin. It actually add salt to in actually add injury. Um, what's this thing? It add salt to the wounds because Ole was already under fire, and United was destined to win the game against Crystal Palace at home. And for some reason, a long ball was played. I can't remember vividly, but a long ball was played to Victor Lindelof. Victor Lindelof is so crap in the air. He's so crap in the air, bro. I mean, whenever he's playing with a target man up top, he struggles. And Christian Benteke gave him problems. And he's been giving Christian Benteke, no, Christian Benteke has been giving him problems ever since spring of 2018 when we made that historical, I wouldn't say historical, but it was a very good comeback when we were losing 2-0 at halftime. I'm just looking up on my phone. But all games. Yeah, United was was quite caught in that game because United. Okay, let me just concentrate on you guys. United didn't expect the result that Chris. They didn't expect that tenacity and intensity from a middle table team like Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace, without getting into it, really gaslight Manchester United at their own home. They took the lead. I believe it was Townsend, but I don't remember. Who cares? But United equalized through Daniel James, who was like on fire that month. And this is what, again, I'm not going to knock Daniel James, but I get when you score a goal, your emotions take over your logic, and you just say, "I am gonna celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate." Like my man did on Mbappe when he equalized in the 90th minute. And I'm like, nigga, you should be winning the match. You should be taking out the ball out of the net and go back to the halfway line, the center circle. What are you doing celebrating winning the game? And that probably gave a boost in Crystal Palace backside because they got a late goal, and United should be scoring late goals, but in this example it was reversed and twisted in Crystal Palace's favour, and their left back got a goal at the near post. This is one of those games where I had an epiphany. Hold on, you guys can see me now? Okay, back to what I was saying. So that's when I had an epiphany that okay, David De Gea is declining slowly. I mean, they can be beaten by a near post, bro. Left back, near post, goal. I mean, what the hell is that, nigga? But yeah. So that's one of those games that that told some of us United fans that Ole should be sacked. Ole should be sacked because this pedigree of not master's degree but of a manager degree supersedes Ole's IQ for the game, as especially as relates to management. And he was really under fire that in the first few months. Trying to remember. Yes, United away from home to Newcastle. Now, as it relates to the I'm going to get into the players. David De Gea was average. Wan-Bissaka was getting tackles. I mean, nobody passes Wan-Bissaka. I mean, there is just Wan-Bissaka, but Wan-Bissaka was making tackles. And Maguire was no, actually Ashland was doing decent before he took his flight to Italia. Um, Scott McTominay was a fun one because no one expected Scott McTominay. No, Scott McTominay last season. Now this season was just finished against Leicester, but I'm talking about the other season. He was doing decent, but this season, particularly in the first couple months, we saw a different Scott McTominay. Like this dude was just developing into a very mature dude. A lot of United supporters, if they're being honest with themselves, if you could rewind back the time, back to 2017 when Jose Mourinho promoted Scott McTominay out of the United Academy, people were saying, "Who is this donkey? We have a donkey already in Nemanja Matic, Michael Carrick. Persons even call Michael Carrick a donkey. I ain't gonna call his name. He's a prominent person on YouTube as relates to United. So I ain't gonna say his name. But at the time, because I followed this channel, this dude called Michael Carrick a donkey. He called Matic a donkey. He called Scott McTominay a donkey. A lot of United fans were not over the top with the promotion of Scott McTominay in the side because they were like, okay, what's this piece of lumber going to do in the side? Other than just stand like the Statue of Liberty, what he's going to do. What's his skill? What can he do in midfield? Is he a midfielder? He's just a plum of wood, bro. That happens to be from Scotland. So what is he good at? So what I'm trying to say, I'm watching my time. But Skamactam was getting into his own slowly but surely. And I was going on the Newcastle game away at the St James Park. United played against a side that had Longstaff and his brother playing in midfield, playing in midfield, and my man bossed Manchester United's midfield. Fred was playing. I mean, Fred was garbage, bro. At the first in the first months of the season, Fred couldn't control. Fred couldn't pass. I mean, like decent passes, like forward passes. I'm not talking about sideways passes because shoot, even my son can do that, and he's not even born yet, and he's not even in the making to be born. He's not even in the first what do you call it again? First stage, second stage, third stage. Yeah, he's not even in the first trimester yet. So Fred was just garbage in the first couple months, but Andres Pereira, don't even get me started on that nigga. I don't even think that nigga is Portuguese. He's just one of those players that happens to have a Portuguese name. So you could say he's just a glorified Jemba Jemba that happens to be Portuguese. But I think he plays for Brazil. But yeah, United wasn't good in that. And we lost that game. We lost that game. Lost that game. Now, United's game against Sheffield United. This was a test. This was a sturdy and test one because United was playing against a Sheffield side that just got promoted in the Premier League, and they were doing decent in the Premier League. Like they were getting points. I think they just lost to Liverpool 1-0, and it wasn't even a convincing win for Liverpool. But they are the Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, Sheffield United side was hosting United, and we needed 3 points. Now that game is a funny one, and it shows the resilience of Manchester United throughout the years. United was down, I believe, 2-0 at halftime. 2-0 at halftime, yes. By a goal from Feck, and I think it was from one of their strikers. I think it was, I can't remember right now. He's a black brother. But yeah, he scored a goal, and United needed a fire under their butt to wake the F up in the second half. And no, Brandon Williams emerged. I believe he started the game in that game at left back, Brandon Williams. But lo and behold, a goal just came out of thin air from Brandon Williams to make it 2-1. And this is where the emergence, this is where Robin Van Persie spirit came on a young dude called Mace. Well, his name is Mason Greenwood. They call him Van Greenwood. But this dude got his first goal in the Premier League just to equalize it to make it 2-2. Make it 2-2. These youngsters against a professional side. Well, they just got promoted from the regulation league. So nah. Whenever there are a lot of physical guys, nah, those guys are special, particularly Mason Green. But it was 2-2, and I believe Marcus Rashford got a goal to give it 3-2, and we were in the lead. And then United, there's this saying in football that you're at your most vulnerable when you just scored. Meaning when you just scored, your blood is pumping, your adrenaline is flowing out of your bloodstream. Just cloud nine, like you just don't sniff or smoke a weed. You're just beat and you're not really concentrated. You might look concentrated, but you're not. And there's a saying that goes in football that you're at your most vulnerable when you just scored. And that game explained that game is tainted with that hold on. Is tainted with that statement. Because United fell back in the few game, in the last minutes I should say. And United conceded by Sheffield United's number 9. But it was an entertaining game, at least in the second half. Manchester United showing their resiliency through adversity. Just going through thick and thin, the ugly and the bad. But it shows that United have some good players under their arms, good young players under their arms that need growth, development, nourishment, and nutrients. So it was a very good game for Manchester United. I'm thinking of another game. Tottenham against Manchester United. I can't believe I can't remember that game. But I'm just name calling right now without even remembering the score. But okay, let me just give my review. I'm not going to go into game. Hold up. I'm not just going to go in every game, but this is where the emergence of Manchester United season started. We knew we needed signings. We needed a number 10. We needed a because Paul Pogba. See, I don't want to get in a long soapbox, but this is one of the reasons why I criticize Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba claimed that he had an injury. That was probably October, November of last year. And this nigga that happened to play for France, there was a video posted on Twitter, I think it was viral as well. This dude was dancing at his brother's wedding, but he happens to be injured. That didn't make no sense. And it's not like he was injured up in the arm, he was injured, I think it was a leg injury or something. Or some hamstrings or something. And this dude was dancing at his butt. And I got the hint that Paul Pogba was manipulating Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to his liking. Like he was just monopoly, like he was just taking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's backbone and just chopping it up like it was ham. That's what he was doing because he was controlling the situation, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't have any balls to put a stop to it. Because Paul Pogba, I ain't gonna get in a long digression, bro, but Paul Pogba really pissed me off at that moment in time. So he was injured for most of the season. Marcus Rashford was coming into his own. Oh, I said, Tottenham, let's go to Liverpool. United against Liverpool. Liverpool was unbeaten on top of the league, and Liverpool was looking to get 3 points from Manchester United at Old Trafford. But that came to a halt when Daniel James on the right hand side was crossing a ball. It was Antonio Valencia-esque in 2009, and he found Marcus Rashford at the far post with a good finish. Marcus Rashford is not the biggest dude, but my nigga literally had like a leash on Virgil van Dijk. Like man had a tussle with Virgil van Dijk, and Rashford made Van Dijk his bitch at least in that game. But yeah, United drop off in the second half, bro. I think it was in the early 81 minutes. Lalana. I mean, my man took put Lalana on to get a goal for Liverpool, and United needed 3 points. So it wasn't a very good game, but it showed that. See, this is what it revealed. Two things. It revealed that United, when they were playing against high line sides, we can score goals because again we have Rashford, Martial. Daniel James just battering the space in behind. So that is where United can score a lot of goals. But if you're playing like with a low block team, and I even said this in my first podcast, my first ever podcast on my YouTube channel. I said when United is playing against a low block team, they tend to struggle a lot. Like their IQ for breaking down low block teams is not high enough, especially with the young players like Daniel James. I mean, Daniel James has no IQ as relates to like breaking down teams. Let's just be honest. That's just a footballer with a with pace in his boots. That's all. And Marcus Rashford, he can break down the team, but Marcus Rashford is one dimensional. I mean, he can beat you, but it's not that much. And that is why he took a lot of shots outside of the box. Because you know he cannot break down those low block teams. So that is something we need to work on with the upcoming season uh on the rise actually, if I could use that. But that's one of the main problems we had in the early part of the season. United just struggling to break down teams. Um so United drew against Liverpool and okay. I said Scott McTominay was getting into his own zone slowly but surely. He was proving doubt was wrong. He was even scoring goals outside. How bad can you get from that? Yeah. So yeah, but as relates to all right, let's get to the second half of the season because I want to finish this podcast in the next 10 minutes. United needed a couple signings to for United to get top four, at least top three, to get Champions League place. United was linked with a player that I was very skeptical at the time, and his name is Bruno Fernandes. That plays for Portugal. He played for Sporting Lisbon at the time, and he had great numbers last season. Again, not this season. When he his last full season at Sporting Lisbon, he had Frank Lampard numbers. Like my man had like 30 odd goals and probably over 20 assists. So that was something that at the time real come high based on his stats, but I'd never really seen him play. Because people were saying, yeah, this dude is going to be a very good sign for Manchester United. I wasn't really with the camaraderie train, but I guess I was won over because when both of them signed for Manchester United, Odionigal and Bruno Fernandes, particularly Bruno Fernandes, I was saying, okay, this dude is going to really change United self play, how they interact on the pitch. And actually, they did. Bruno Fernandes got the funny thing was that in the first game of Bruno Fernandes, Ole played him as a centre defensive. Now I can't speak for all tacticians or coaches because I've never coached or well at least on FIFA I have, but in real life I can't speak. But bro, I don't see why you're playing a number 10 in a defensive midfield position. I mean that goes against logic. That defies physics and logic. I mean, come on, brother. Play him as number 10 or play him as a box to box. But I guess sense was clicked into Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he played him into a more advanced role. And people were saying, man, I can't wait till Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes play together. Man, they're going to just cream up that midfield with gleam. They're just going to we're going to have two Iniesta. We're going to have Iniesta and Xavi together. They're just going to just enlight and emulate that midfield that Barcelona had with Xavi and Iniesta. Now, I was very skeptical, and I did a podcast. If I could be bothered, leave the I might leave the link in the description below. But I said not because Bruno Fernandes had a very decent start at Manchester United means he's going to be a great player for Manchester United. Di Maria had the same start, and most of you guys who watch United with Di Maria at the time, you guys know what I'm talking about, and you guys know I'm telling the truth. Di Maria had a similar start to Bruno Fernandes. Scored in his debut, assist on his debut, and he was on cloud 9 for like probably cloud 7 for 2 months. Then he just dropped off. But to twist this back into Bruno Fernandes' favor, my man was clocking in assists and goals, and I'm saying, particularly from the penalty spot, not to hate, but I'm just being truthful. I'm saying this dude is going to be quite a player for Manchester United, and it actually changed how United play. And I'm saying United is racking up points. I mean, one of the biggest games that really changed United, the atmosphere of Manchester United, as I close this video podcast, was in Manchester United hosted Manchester City at Old Trafford. That was like the last game before COVID-19 took a toll on football, took a toll on football as a whole, because football had to be on a timeout for like 3 months because due to quarantine, social distancing, and yeah, because we don't want our football to die out. So FA say okay, yeah, but in that game, a lot of persons expected United to lose that game at home, but not to get lengthy, but Manchester City was really, because United opening the scoring, and some person gonna say, oh, Bruno Fernandes, he dove like a dolphin. That wasn't a foul. And my man took the free kick just like that, and Marcel finished it with the first. It wasn't the cleanest strike, but it was a very good strike from Marcel to make it 1-0. And it's funny how no Man City, as being the Man City side they had a lot of chances, but they couldn't finish their dinner. Probably because they were full. They had a lot of breakfast, and they had lunch, and they had what I mean, like they had a snack, so they didn't want to finish their dinner. But yeah, they had a lot of chances, and Manchester United in the diamonds of the game. I wasn't watching that particular part of the game because I wanted to do the podcast real quick. But to my somewhat surprise, I saw the game finish 2-0 to United's favour. 2-0 to United's favour. I'm like, who scored the other goal for Manchester United? And people were like, Scott McTominay! I'm like, Scott McTominay? I mean, Scott McTominay has been decent this season, but what's Scott McTominay doing in the goal on the score sheet? And then I went on YouTube and I looked up the goal. My man turned Paul Scholes. Now, Edison probably said, okay, you got me. My side is already losing. Someone just give you. I'm just being the good Samaritan I am in goal. I'm just going to distribute the ball to you. My man just one time it in the goal, and the fans really lit up like it was Christmas Day. They were just leaping for joy like they were just healed from a disease or so. And that changed the atmosphere. Now people are saying United is heading in the right direction. And we are. United after quarantine during COVID-19, but they drew against Tottenham away from home. Time out. I remember about Tottenham now. United was playing Tottenham at home. Marcus Rashford was electrifying in that game. Two goals, one from the penalty spot, and I think Mars. No, we beat them 2-1, didn't we? Yeah, we beat them 2-1. Dele Alli scored a very good goal. I mean, my man was Zinedine Zidane back in his prime time. Um, in the box, like my man piled. I think he kicked the ball over someone who's in the box and just scored at the near post, not the far post actually. I'm actually getting tired because I have to eat and I've been fasting since Friday. I ate fruit on Friday, but I didn't eat a lot of. I didn't eat like complex food. I just ate few fruits like an apple, tangerine, orange, and that's basically it. And I didn't eat anything yesterday, and I definitely didn't eat all yesterday. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to eat. So I'm just rushing this podcast. But yeah, United was electrifying in the Tottenham game at home. Now, when they were playing at Tottenham's home, it was like a training match. It was like a training match because again, the fans were not there, but you could have the noise effect if you're like a noisy type of person, and that gets you off mentally. But it wasn't Bergwijn. Steve Wonder put Tottenham in front with a very good solo goal. I mean, my man just beat Harry Maguire, and David De Gea was just showing why he's declining. But Bruno Fernandes from the spot, which was a controversial, I don't think it was a penalty, if you ask me. But hey, I wasn't the referee, so why do I care? It was in United's favor, so I mean, a point is better than no point, isn't it? But United from Bruno Fernandes and United equalized. So just to break this video podcast down, because I don't want it to be a lengthy one. United amongst the odds got third place, and it boiled down to the final game of the season at the King Power Stadium against Leicester City, and something's on my and United got third place by beating Leicester City 2-0. Very interesting season for Manchester United. I wish I could have gotten into more deep details, but I'm not a researcher. I'm not one of those. I'm just not one of those guys. But hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Stay safe. COVID-19 is just killing people off. It was a very good season for Manchester. Not a very good season, but United could have done a bit better, especially in the first part of the season. But this season gives us a reason why there are better things to come for next season. My best player this season, last season for Manchester United, was probably Anthony Martial. Yeah, probably Anthony Martial. Close second would be Bruno Fernandes. Um, Best young player, obviously, it would be Mason Greenwood. Best improved player, that would be Fred. Worst player this season, that would be Jesse Lingard. The best impactful player, I would say that would be Bruno Fernandes. Um, the best defender for Manchester United this season, I, I, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Because Maguire had a mixed season. Lindelof had a mixed season. I'm I'm tempting to say Spider-Man Wan-Bissaka, but okay, let's just cut. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka was our best defender this season, and our best midfielder, Bruno Fernandes, of course. But yeah. So that's just my take on Manchester United season. I'll show you guys in the next preview for the Euro game, Euro League game, I should say. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. Stay safe. I'll show you guys in the next podcast.